As far as I can tell, the lockdown is over. Thousands of people have swarmed to the beaches in their states, defying the lockdown order. In Virginia, take a look at this photo. Thousands of people flocking to the beach, but the beach was supposed to be closed. What about over in New York and New Jersey? Sun seekers defy beach ban in New York City as crowds in New Jersey flock to reopened coastline and flout social distancing measures as temperatures soar. In many places, they've been reopening the beaches. Many other places, they haven't. But we are seeing that for the most part, people don't care. And it's kind of weird. It's scary, but it's also kind of confidence building. It's scary to think that people just have no confidence in government anymore. And if you start showing these cracks in the system, the confidence will continue to break down. The only reason the government functions is because the people will it so, as we can see right here. Now, I'll tell you what, I do think there are inherent risks to what everyone is doing. You could potentially get sick, but a lot of the data that's come out so far, a lot of the studies we've seen shows that actually being outside is the best thing we can do. Social distancing, very, very important. So the people who are, flaunting this, or I should say flouting it, that's probably not a good idea. I've also seen a lot of conservatives say things like, don't wear a mask, you're like giving in or whatever. And it's like, dude, masks are so you don't get other people sick. I don't understand what's the problem with putting a mask on. Now, there is some like weird viral clip where a bunch of journalists and politicians are doing the press briefing. They're like, okay, we're wrapping. And all the journalists get up and take their masks off and whatever. Yeah, that's called them being idiots. Dude, people have worn masks when they're sick all the time. I think I got no problem with it. You want me to wear a mask? I don't care. What's the big deal? You don't got to wear a mask when you're driving your car or whatever. But when we get out and go to the store, I'll put a mask on. Fine. I don't care. It's 2 seconds. But outside of this, right, that's the gist of the story with people defying lockdown. I think it shows us that the people ultimately do what they want. And the only reason the government can do anything or enforce anything is because, for the most part, people agree. You've got a bunch of people on social media right now, a bunch of activist lefty type individuals arguing we must remain locked down and there's no end in sight. Nothing makes sense. Listen, flatten the curve. That was the mission. We did. Now Los Angeles is saying, wait for a cure. Whoa, buddy. If you want people to flip Republican, this is how you get them to do it. Maybe that's what their goal is. I have no idea. But when you got Republicans saying, y'all can go to the beach, and then people wanting to go to the beach, but you got Democrats saying, y'all can't go to the beach, what do you think people are going to say? Now, I get it. Not every state is the same. California has been slowly reopening. And so, it's not necessarily just Democrat versus Republican, but it still kind of is. My bigger concern is that people have accepted turning the Constitution into Swiss cheese. It's really funny. There's a tweet going around. The left likes to say, think about what, World War II. And people often ask, what would I have done if I was in, Germany in World War II? The resistance like to claim that they're the good guys and they would absolutely stand up for what's right. And then look what happens when the government seeks to violate our civil rights. They snitch on their neighbors. They advocate for government tracking. Some people are advocating for like ID badges or tracers where they can scan you to see if you've been cleared, if you've got COVID or if you're no longer, carrying it or whatever. I don't, I'm sorry. In China, they do this thing where you have your phone and you scan it. So they can say, like, okay, you don't have COVID. We've scanned it. So you want everybody to carry around some kind of ID that tracks their health status. You'll snitch on your neighbors and advocate for doing so. You'll champion the government ruling by decree and shutting down civil rights. I'm sorry. I think I know which side you would have been on in World War II. Take a look at this story. Not all beach-going defiers are doing well. New York City man arrested in Hawaii after posting beach photos on Instagram. Hawaii officials arrested a man from New York on Friday for violating the state's 14-day quarantine rule for tourists. Tariq Peters, 23 of the Bronx, posted photos on Instagram showing him outside his hotel room after he arrived in Oahu on Monday, according to a news release from the office of Hawaii's governor. According to the news release, Peters allegedly left his hotel room the same day he arrived and traveled many places using public transportation. Authorities became aware of his social media posts from citizens who saw posts of him on the beach with a surfboard, sunbathing, and walking around Waikiki at night. This morning, agents were able to confirm with hotel personnel that had seen Peters leave his room and the premises on numerous occasions this week. He was arrested and booked on Friday, and his bail has been set at $4,000 for going outside, for going to the beach, for sunbathing. Are you kidding me? Now, look, man, over in Virginia and New York, whatever, what are they going to do? They're going to arrest every single person? No. And what are you going to argue if you single people out? That they should have known better? I don't think that will fly. People have a First Amendment right in this country to peaceably assemble, to speak. That means they can go outside. You can't stop them. Quarantine like this does not work. People have to agree, and the people do not agree. You want to know why? They have been telling us over and over again that it's going to get bad and we got to lock everything down. Apparently now we're learning that may have been a mistake. But they say the lockdowns worked because the infection rate's going down and all that stuff. Social distancing worked. That's what the studies, most of them so far, have said. What we're learning now is that actually being outside is better. One study showed the people 66% of those who are contracting COVID now were at home. People are all confined in a closed space. They're not getting any vitamin D. Someone goes to the store, catches COVID, brings it home, touches everything. Everybody gets it. If you were going outside like normal, then you're much less likely to be touching the same things, so long as you're social distancing. The reason why the infection rate was probably skyrocketing is because people weren't social distancing, because people touch all the same railings on the subway, and then they handle money, and then they eat a cheeseburger and they don't wash their hands. People were getting sick. Now everybody's washing their hands more, they're wearing masks, and guess what? The infection rate is going down, except for those who are staying in their homes. It's actually the bulk. But check this out. South Dakota is my favorite example. I decided to take a look. What's going on with South Dakota? And you know what? YouTube might ban me for this video. I have no idea. COVID-19 in South Dakota. 72 new positive cases. Death toll remains at 44. Active cases, 1,242. South Dakota never locked down. Right now, I'm seeing a bunch of these tribal leftists say like, oh, all of these states that have reopened are seeing a spike in cases. That's strange. I thought the incubation period was a couple days to a couple weeks. How is it that a couple days after someone goes outside, you're saying all of these cases have just spiked? Now, of course, they say because the incubation period is a couple days. There, it proves it. No, that would mean that the incubation period is a couple days. And then on the first day of them noticing they got sick, they went and got a coronavirus test. Sorry, that makes literally no sense. According to Kilo Land, which I believe is a local, I'm assuming it's local South Dakota news, they say, the numbers for Saturday, May 16th show a rise in recoveries and a drop in active cases. They say the state is reporting a total of 3,959 positive cases in South Dakota, up 72 from Friday. Active cases are now at 1,242, down 27 from Friday. Recoveries rose by 99 to a total of 2,673. Current hospitalizations is at 75, down 5 from Friday. The state total for negative tests in South Dakota is 24,217. That's so strange. South Dakota never locked down, and they're doing really, really well. Look, I'm not here to advocate for or against whatever, but I do think it's fair to point out that the economy is in serious trouble. And all these lefty digital outlets are talking about boogaloos, saying like the boogaloo movement's coming and these guys are blocking bars and they want civil war. Do you want a boogaloo? Okay. You know, you get one. Strain people, take away their resources, starve them out, and see how long it takes for someone to storm the beaches, both figuratively and, well, I guess literally, just not in the same literal way you'd imagine. These people certainly are storming the beaches because the beaches are closed and they're all showing up. Fortunately for us, they're not storming it to take over or kill anybody. They're just going swimming and enjoying themselves. Check this out, though. CNN, not that I'm a big fan, reports overall grocery prices in the U.S. grew 2.6%, including seasonal adjustments last month. Here's what's getting more expensive. Eggs are up 16.1%. Chicken, 5.8%. Hot dogs, 5.7%. Donuts 5%. Carbonated drinks, 4.5%. Citrus, 4.3%. Grocery prices are soaring. Do you know what happens when people can't afford to eat? Not only have you taken their jobs away, The money that the government is giving is making things worse. The food isn't just getting more expensive because of supply chain disruption. As soon as that magic money they just dump in your account hits your account, it instantly loses buying power. I've seen a bunch of memes where they're like, as soon as the government gives you money, go buy gold with it, wait a week, and then you'll be able to buy a lot more because the dollar is being devalued dramatically by a massive influx of printed money. This is what people don't get, man. It's funny to me that you go on like Reddit or Twitter and you see all of these memes, not really memes, just like viral Twitter posts where they're like, I don't understand why these Trump bros don't just accept the government giving them money so they can have food. Because you can't eat money. And they don't seem to understand that. CNN reports, they say if you're a loyal reader of CNN Business, you might have seen CNN Business, you may have seen a headline Tuesday that said prices are falling at an alarming rate. Or a headline today that said producers' prices fell by a record amount. That probably feels off to you, and for good reason. Every time you go to the grocery store, that number at the end of the receipt keeps getting bigger. Both things are true. Prices are falling across just about every category: apparel, hotels, cars, car insurance, airfare. But American grocery stores' price tags are soaring. Overall, the price of groceries grew 2.6%, including seasonal adjustments. In April, that was the biggest increase from one month to the next since 1974, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Prices at the supermarket are rising sharply because coronavirus has disrupted the food supply chain. When restaurants shut down, Americans started cooking at home, and demand for groceries shot up. But food producers and farmers didn't have the ability to quickly shift their food deliveries to grocery stores. Supply chains are super complex beasts. What these people don't understand, the guy who makes the beef doesn't just send a cow to Walmart and then you buy a piece of the cow. It's got to be processed. All of this food goes to processing plants, to packaging, plants and things like that before it makes it to the store. With supply chain disruption, notably restaurants being shut down, it broke everything, and now food isn't making it. So let me kind of get to the point, right? When I saw these people flooding the beaches, I was like, this is why I don't think there will be a boogaloo in the sense that the boogaloo people think there will be one. There's not going to be a government versus the people thing because the people have spoken, man. I'm sorry. There's nothing you can do. Now, YouTube might ban this video, I guess, or they might, give me a guideline strike. I'm not supposed to be talking about it or whatever. Let me tell you. In New Jersey, the beaches have been legally reopened and people are flouting social distancing rules. Bad idea. In Wisconsin, the courts have ruled it is unconstitutional. So far, we have seen that when it comes to the law, there's varying opinions so far. But I will tell you this. I think any reasonable person can tell that the governor and, various executives just decreeing you can't do something is a violation of the Constitution, and it is unlawful. We do not live in a country where a mayor, a governor can just snap their fingers and enforce anything they want. It's not legal. All the cops who are enforcing these rules are morons. That's true. They're nasty morons too, the worst kind. But think about what it would take for there to be a boogaloo. No food, right? Well, that's where things may actually boil over. In terms of the government mandating, people are just ignoring it. We're seeing businesses reopen. People are getting fined for it. Nobody cares anymore. And the crazy thing to me is over on Reddit. We've actually started seeing comments from people where they're now sympathetic. We started seeing stories from, say, the LA Times saying that the lockdown is hurting the poor. It absolutely is. But of course, the weird tribalist left trying to argue it's not. Trying to argue we must remain locked down forever. And I can't figure out why. For what reason would you say these things? Look at these people on the beach. You think these people are going to vote for you if you try to take their beach away? That's what I said yesterday about cheeseburgers. So I think the main point I'm trying to get to here with everything we're seeing is that nobody cares. Okay, the people will go out if they want to. I saw a post on Reddit and it said, we were able to hold off American stupidity for about 8 weeks. That was our limit. No, you're the stupid one. What don't you get? All of these annoying viral leftist memes where they're like, everyone's so dumb, but I'm smart. Meanwhile, regular people are going about their regular lives and South Dakota is not seeing a major spike. As it turns out, the lockdown probably was not the right move. But okay, we did it. It may have helped to some degree. It may have hurt to some degree. Actually, may have prolonged everything. That's what one study has shown us. Studies saying that those who are staying inside were more likely to catch COVID. But maybe shutting down big events and social distancing was the right thing to do. Maybe we just went a little overboard. Now it's time to walk things back. And you know what? Seems like the people agree. So now we'll take it into politics, Rex. I was thinking about this in terms of all of these partisan leftists who live in big cities or who don't, who are arguing we must remain locked down, ignoring the science, ignoring the data, and ignoring the law. That Robert Reich guy, whatever his name is one of the most annoying grifters ever. And the reason I say he's an annoying grifter, let me tell you, they like to call me a grifter. I don't know. My principles are pretty consistent. We'll take a look at Tara Reade, right? I said I don't necessarily trust her accusations against Biden. I think it's politically opportune. However, these are the standards they asked for, so I'm gonna, give them what they want, right? But I can easily point out the same thing for Joe Biden as Brett Kavanaugh. Due process is paramount. There's consistency. But when you look at someone like that Robert Wright guy on Twitter, I don't know if you know who he is. I don't even know who he is. All I know is every time someone does something that might in some way line up with Trump, he's the first to be screeching like a banshee. So he tweets out against Elon Musk saying, "You're getting poor people sick. You're putting them at risk." It's like, Gavin Newsom opened up manufacturing. They ignore this. They ignore their own Democratic governors. They live in a parallel, alternate, paranoid, delusional state. I think about it this way. My friends, they don't want to be inside anymore. They're losing their minds. They want to go out and get a cheeseburger. You look at Colorado, opened up a restaurant, people flooded in. You look at Wisconsin, they opened up the bars, people flood in. Nobody cares about what you want because you hate Trump. So what do you think is going to happen as people like Governor Whitmer in Michigan say, "I'm doing this for your safety to keep you alive"? They're telling you to STFU, dude. They don't want to hear it. Regular people saying no. What she doesn't realize, especially in Michigan, is that she's basically got Detroit. Everyone else is saying, "Shut up. I'm going to go out and do whatever I want." This is the funny thing to me. The people I know in cities, like you look at New York, they've been defying the lockdown the whole time. Not everybody. They've tried. But, I see all these tweets and posts and my friends saying that you look out the window and it's like a normal day. People are walking around doing their thing. It's been that way the entire time for me. I look out my window, I see people doing their normal thing. So what happens then when I don't get this, man. Why embrace an overtly and obvious bad idea that people don't like? I just don't understand. You know what it is? It's part of the same problem we've seen over and over again with social media, in my opinion, that a fringe sect of lunatics get vocal enough and convince the left this is what people really want. They think that's data when 50, cartoon character Twitter profiles saying no opening the country. I wouldn't be surprised if these Twitter things are actually just black propaganda put on by Trump supporters to convince the Democratic governors to sabotage themselves by enforcing policies nobody wants. We get that COVID is bad. Everybody does. But at a certain point, no one's going to care. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, one of the questions I've asked is whether or not the people who are going out makes up a small fraction. Maybe that's the case. I don't think so. All of these polls from, saying like people are scared and don't want to go outside. I'm like, I don't buy it, man. These people on the beach aren't political people. They're beachgoers. It's not. Look at this photo. It's funny because I'm like, these aren't Trump supporters, man. It's just thousands of people in Virginia Beach doing their thing like normal. These are the people, the regular people. You come out and you say you are not allowed to do that. That was illegal. You arrest people for this. They're not going to vote for you, man. So we'll see how things play out. Over in California's 25th, they flipped it 21 points in favor of the Republicans. I'm starting to think that, you look at someone like Governor Whitmer in Michigan, and she is, there's something weird about these people like Blasey Ford, Peter Strzok, Whitmer, where they do this thing like this, where they smile and they look down, and it's like a weird caricature of an evil gaze. Like, it's like, why are they doing that? What are these people? What do they want? They're weird. Whitmer is doing everything in her power to sabotage the Democratic Party. I'll tell you what, because she just really makes them all look stupid. I'm sorry. She really does. She says things like this is for your safety. She defies the state legislature. Wisconsin's governor, the same thing. He's trying to get a 150-day extension on the lockdown. What is wrong with these people? And their excuse is, we're smarter than you. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. You keep telling yourself that. I hope you sleep well at night. YouTube will probably censor this video in some capacity. I don't care, man. Look, the law has spoken. Bill Barr, the Attorney General, says the Constitution is not suspended. He has come out against the lockdowns. The World Health Organization praised Sweden, and they had no lockdown. South Dakota had no lockdown, and there's no outbreak. It stands to reason we don't exactly know what or why or how. So what's the best thing we can do? Honestly, don't know. But I'll tell you this. If South Dakota didn't lock down and they're doing great, and some state and New York did lock down and they're doing worse every day, well, then what do you want me to do? People are going to do what they want. So I'll wrap it up with this. I think so long as people are willing to just defy the government can't do anything about it, I don't see a boogaloo being something that I can't enforce it. If all of these people went and opened their businesses, then that's it. The cops can't do anything about it. Fine whoever you want. Nobody cares. So I'll tell you what, man. You never want, you always want to make sure. That's what I love. I love saying this. You must act within the law, right? Great. The Supreme Court of Wisconsin has said lockdown's unlawful. Bill Barr has said the Constitution is not suspended and presumably will be taking action against many of these states that are violating the law. So YouTube, let me ask you a question. When these states enforce by decree in violation of the law, why would you support that? Perhaps there should be some action taken against you for advocating for and enforcing, discourse in support of breaking the law. I'll leave it there. Whatever, just a rant on lockdown. I got another segment coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. I'll see you all then.